Hello everyone, this is Jama, finally here with the blue starter deck guide. Sorry for such a long wait. Hopefully I can make more videos regularly again. Well, anyway, so what I have here is the slightly altered version of the blue starter deck, and I basically cut out some of the weaker neutral and blue cards. So for example, I took out Freedom Fighter for Ninja Toad, because it's basically just a better, Ninja Toad is just basically a better Freedom Fighter with when you have blue. I took out Hold the Line, and I took out Ruby Fish for Sturdy Shell because I can just buff it with the Gabriel enchantment if I need to, and it's just a better collector in my opinion. If you're running blue. What else did I do? I think I added water elementals as well because I think water elementals are just very good for standard blue decks. Helps you create lakes when you need to, and it's just a very good elemental in general because it has jump. So while green focuses more on creating like high health creatures and buff stats, the blue card pool has got a few different archetypes in it. You would recognize that a lot of the cards are Tritons, which means that they all have jump apart from Triton Chef, but all the Tritons basically apart from Triton Chef have jump, which is very useful for ball control, and it's a good mobility keyword. You also have 7 synergy with the Gabriel Commander and the Gabriel Archon. And there's a few archetypes that I haven't mentioned, which you can find out for yourself. But it's just honestly, blue is quite a flexible color, which is why I like using it quite a lot. So anyway, let's get into a few games and talk about them. So we have the first game here. I think I kept at least one Triton Warrior here because it's just a good opener. You can create 2 lakes at the start and then just place it on the wells. So what I do is I double neutral here to start with, and then I just place a lake on the right side of the map. And what I want to do with that is I'll basically want to make it so that I can set up my Triton Warrior on the right side so it can double collect. The thing is with blue in general, like if you're playing a mid-range kind of deck, you kind of want to play the opposite side of your opponent so that you can set up collection on your right side and his right side well. But luckily this player was avoiding my side anyway, so it was easy collection for me. So I place a second lake a little bit to the left, so I'm in range of the structure because I kind of want to get rid of the Steam Forge, and I probably have a bit more presence on the board now that my Triton Warrior is more in the middle. I probably want to get rid of the Demon Wing as well, since it can clear both of my Triton Warriors. And I'm going to try and clear that tax collector before it gets too much Faeria. Oh, he trades it with me anyway, that's fine. And sets out another Demon Wing, which I probably just trade here. Since the Rebel Glider can't collect Faeria, I just hit face or trade with a Demon Wing. The thing is with this player, they kind of played it a bit weirdly, because I can just avoid trading with the Demon Wing since it can't really collect at this point. So I just let my opponent trade for me, and I just go for face. And now I think I'm just swarming the board because they can't really do much right now. Again, they're just placing double neutrals when they should be drawing probably, since they have 8 Faeria and only 2 cards in hand. I think that's quite a big mistake that a lot of new players make. And he buffs, that was also a mistake, they buff the Demon Wing when it could already trade the Triton Warrior, so they just basically wasted a card in the Faeria for no reason. And now I just keep playing creatures and swarming the board. There's not really much else for this guy to do. So that's the end of this game. It was quite quick and a lot of... I think the opponent made a lot of mistakes. Also not running like a very consistent deck. Not really taking any sides either. They were kind of just rushing a little bit and then decided to take a side later on, which is quite a big mistake. But anyway, let's get to second game. So this hand is pretty good. I get rid of the spell wall because I don't really need it right now. I could keep the Tyrannix, but I definitely want to keep the Water Elemental so that I can create 2 lakes on my first turn. And the standard opening when you're playing second for Water Elemental with Water Elemental in hand is you play a lake in the middle, and then you explore one side, and then you play the Water Elemental to make another land so you can collect turn 2. And that's pretty strong opening for jump. You kind of want to make lakes around this side, on like this well and this well, so you can summon creatures to jump in between these wells and double collect. You never really want to make lands into the wells, because since you have a lot of creatures with jump, it's pretty unnecessary for you to do that. So the enemy starts by playing a Wisp, which I think is quite weak. If he wants, if he can't really collect without losing that card now, which is why I play the double neutral, so that next turn I can double collect whilst trading that quite well. And it's a pretty good trade as well, because there's a lot of Faeria for that card for a 1/2. But he plays the Clean Skyguard, which blocks me from attacking it, which is actually not too bad of a move. But here I just play Gabriel Warden and put Protect on my Water Elemental, and then just trade it. And then afterwards I think I place a Sturdy Shell to collect on the other side. So I can start moving my Sturdy Shell on the other side while he's struggling to fight me on the right side. So now he plays another Clean Skyguard slightly further back, which means that I can trade the Wind Wisp and still trade the Skyguard. So he's still behind in this situation now. I decided to make a lake there just so that he can't step in and collect. I'm just basically stopping him from collecting Faeria so he can't come back. Otherwise I just would have used the Water Elemental to make the lake there instead. But you can also see that the land placement is also quite poor from this guy. He makes 4 deserts and a forest when he doesn't really need to make 4 deserts unless he's running Solemn, but it doesn't seem like he is. And making 4 deserts and forests for whatever card he's going to use, like maybe he's running Elderwood Embrace or something like that, but that's still quite a lot of lands. And he still hasn't set up collection on the other side either. So I just keep swarming the board, and I keep just clearing every creature that this player puts down. And now they're just playing anything they can just to stop me from attacking their face. But it doesn't really matter anymore. I think at this point I've won because I'm collecting on 3 wells and they're collecting on 0. Yeah, so now I'm just clearing up. I'm just, again, full clearing. I decided to put the enchantment on the Demon Wing so I don't take as much damage from it. And to be honest, this is the end of the game, so we'll just move on to the next game. So this is the 3rd game, and I start off with Water Elemental again. This guy decides to place a turn 1 Ruby Fish, which is pretty good. Can collect on turn 2, but I also can collect on turn 2 Water Elemental, and it's a bit stronger. I decided to make the lands a bit further back this time for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it doesn't really matter since I'm committing to one side anyway. So I make the double neutral so that it blocks him from blocks the player from collecting with the Ruby Fish, since it's aquatic and it can't move on lands that aren't lakes. and for some reason they're trying to block themselves off now with the ruby fish. But we just trade that, and now they're trying to rush us down middle, which isn't really a smart move. So right now I could Gabe an enchantment the sand elemental and trade it, but I decided to go for the ruby fish instead anyway. I don't think it matters too much. Maybe I can clear with the ninja toad as well. Clearing with the ninja toad wouldn't be too bad, but it is also quite a waste of Faeria since it's 4 Faeria to clear that. So I just let it trade with my water elemental. So I place a lake at the enemy well so I can play my ninja toad and clear with ninja toad or go face. I think I want to try and outrush him. Since he's not really collecting, it's going to be quite hard for this guy to come back. Plays Triton Banquet, which is really bad because it's free Faeria. Basically, if you're playing on a Triton Warrior, right, it's basically the free Faeria campfire, right? Because the Triton Warrior already has jump. But in this sense, he wants to try and outrace me, which isn't a good idea since I'm doing more damage. Especially now that I have 2 campfires. And next turn, I can get rid of that Triton Warrior just by using Humbling Vision, trading with the Law Thief, and using Falcon Dive. I mean, the enemy's deck is quite all over the place, so yeah. On to the next game. So from what I remember, this deck is slightly different to the ones that I showed in the past few games, but it's the same idea. I think this is actually the one where I use as an example at the end of the land placement guide video. So here I think it's just double neutral aside and then play Tyrannix turn 2 to set a little bit of collection going, and this guy decides to take the same side with the Explorer as well. Okay, so I decide... Do I decide? Yep, I decide to go the other way instead, since I don't want to get denied collection. This is still fine because I collect turn 2 anyways by making a land, and this guy turns out to play Baron Fogler. Okay. And Time of Legends. Interesting. So I just double neutral because I don't have to play anything right now. I can just wait until the next turn to play Gabriel Warden or whatever. And here I'm thinking of just making a lake for the enemy well so that I can summon creatures. So I think at this point I'm gonna have to trade with the Baron Fogler with the Tyrannix. I probably can afford to let him hit face once, so that I can get another piece of collection. I decided to pre-buff so that I can play my Stalker, so I can contest that structure. And the Mace Man comes down. I think that's just a Humbling Vision target. Or Falcon Dive. That's probably better. So I go and clear the Weeping Idol for now. And then, yep, play Gabriel Warden for protection. And luckily I get the hit on the Steamforged Enforcer. I think I'll play that on the other side. Yep. Just so that I can start triple collecting. So I think what I do here is I clear the Bone Collector and play Falcon Dive on the Mace Man. And then I can just trade with the Queen's Favourite anyway. Okay, so I don't. Yeah, that's a misplay for me, because then I guess it's okay for me to step on the lances to block to block collection. But I do waste 3 Faeria to make that trade with the Bone Collector. I mean, I have a lot of Faeria anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. But it was a bit more efficient by clearing the Bone Collector first. And then Falcon diving the Mace Man. Now I play the rune in to protect face and Beastmaster, but it doesn't have any synergy with the deck, unfortunately. So here I just Humbling Vision the Wandering Monk, so that I can stop him from collecting. And this is where I just keep drawing, and I don't need to make any more lands, to be honest. Decide to play the Triton Sanctuary here. It's not really that necessary to play it, but I thought I might as well just get some more Faeria while I can. So here the trade's quite easy. I just kill the Imperial Guard so that I can step in my Triton Warrior to trade the Beastmaster, and then trade the rune in with the or not trade the rune in. I guess I don't have to. I would say though, maybe trading the rune would be a bit better, so that I wouldn't have to worry about it being pre-buffed or being buffed on this turn. He decides to double neutral, which doesn't really matter for me, since I can just step on the lands now. I don't decide to take the trade with the 3/2. In some cases, you probably would want to do that, but it doesn't really matter in this case, because I don't think they're really planning on doing anything with it. So I just end up playing more creatures at my opponent's face. And now they play the rune in again, which puts them in quite a bad situation, since they're just spending 5 Faeria every single time for not really much reason. I also have Humbling Vision, which isn't that great for Runin, because I can just take really good trades with it. But now I get the Campfire, so I just trade with the 5/3 Tyrannex instead. A lot of people say that Runin's too strong because she has infinite value, but if you think about it in terms of how much she costs, she's not very cost effective. It's 5 Faeria for a 4/4, and that's pretty bad since you can play a Mace Man for 4 Faeria. You're putting yourself in 1 Faeria disadvantage, and even when she gets buffed to 6/6, playing for 4 Faeria playing for 5 Faeria isn't that worth it either, since she's supposed to be a legendary card, right? And by the time she gets into like the 8 or 10 Faeria kind of numbers, it's usually too late for you. If you're playing Runin, you probably spent too much Faeria anyway, so to be honest, she's not really that worth it. So this was the slightly altered blue starter deck. If I wanted to change it, I'd probably add more Ninja Toads, make actually more Tritons, make it more of like a blue jump deck where I have Ninja Toads, Triton Warriors, Triton Trainers, possibly Battletoads. If you've got the DLC, Tidal's a very good card as well for that. Sunken Tower, those kind of cards are very good with blue. But yeah, hopefully I'll get onto the other 2 colors. Problem with red and yellow is that they require a little bit more synergy, so the starter decks are actually a lot weaker for red and yellow than they are for blue and green. But hopefully I can find some easy decks that you can craft at a low level. But thank you for watching. I also started streaming on Twitch again, if you guys are interested, so you can catch me on Twitch as well, and I'll see you around.